Golden light spills across the Tennessee hills, painting the old farmhouse in soft amber. From the porch, a faint mandolin tune drifts into the evening air. Gentle, familiar, timeless. This isn't just any country retreat. It's the sanctuary of Marty Stuart, the man who once shared a stage with Johnny Cash and now lets the hills sing his stories back to him. Today, we step inside Marty Stuart's Tennessee farm, a home of music, memories, and meaning. But before the stage lights and silver hair, let's go back to where the boy with the mandolin first found his song. Born John Marty Stuart on September 30th, 1958 in Philadelphia, Mississippi, Marty's story reads like a love letter to American music. From a young age, he was drawn to the sounds that filled his small southern town. Gospel choirs, fiddle tunes, and the hum of steel guitars drifting out of barroom doors. At just 12 years old, Marty had already taught himself to play the mandolin, soon mastering guitar and fiddle as well. He wasn't a child prodigy in the showbiz sense. He was something rarer, a boy who lived and breathed the soul of country music. That devotion caught the attention of the right people. At 13, the wide-eyed Mississippi kid got the invitation of a lifetime to join Lester Flatt's Nashville Grass, one of the greatest bluegrass bands in history. Imagine being barely a teenager and stepping onto the stage of the Grand Ole Opry, standing shoulder to shoulder with the men who defined American roots music. For Marty, it was not just a gig. It was an apprenticeship in authenticity. He soaked up lessons about timing, tradition, and respect for the craft that would define every note he played from then on. When Lester Flatt passed away in 1979, Stuart continued performing with bluegrass icons like Vassar Clements and Doc Watson, each encounter sharpening his artistry and deepening his reverence for music's storytelling power. But destiny had bigger plans waiting on the horizon, a meeting that would change his life forever. By 1980, Marty joined Johnny Cash's band, stepping into the orbit of one of the most influential figures in American music. Playing guitar and mandolin for the Man in Black wasn't just a career milestone, it was a spiritual education. Cash taught him about more than music. He taught him about character, about standing tall in an industry that often forgets its roots. When Stuart left Cash's band, he wasn't stepping away from greatness. He was ready to create his own. Signing with MCA Records, he released Hillbilly Rock, 1989, and Tempted, 1991, both of which showcased his fiery blend of honky-tonk swagger and rockabilly grit. Songs like Hillbilly Rock and Western Girls turned him into a radio favorite, while his nudie suits, silver hair, and sharp stage style made him instantly recognizable. Marty Stuart had become a star who didn't just play country music, he lived it. But fame never softened his artistic hunger. By the mid-1990s, when Nashville chased pop country trends, Stuart took a different road. He sought something purer, the heart of the sound he'd grown up loving. This evolution led to the birth of Marty Stuart and his fabulous Superlatives in 2002, a group that would become a cornerstone of his creative rebirth. With Kenny Vaughan on guitar, Harry Stinson on drums, and Chris Scruggs on bass, the Superlatives weren't just a backing band, they were a brotherhood. Together, they recorded albums that critics hailed as masterpieces: Ghost Train, The Studio B Sessions, Nashville, Volume 1, Tear the Woodpile Down, and The Cinematic Way Out West. These works captured everything Marty had learned, the history, the humor, the heartbreak, and fused it into something timeless. By 2017, he announced plans for the Congress of Country Music in his Mississippi hometown, a cultural center and museum designed to protect and share that legacy for generations to come. It was the full circle moment of a lifetime. The boy who once dreamed among the pines of Philadelphia was now building a temple to the music that made him. And while the spotlight followed him from Nashville to the Grammys, Marty's heart remained elsewhere. not in neon lights, but in the quiet hills of Tennessee, where he built a life filled with melody, meaning, and peace. Tennessee Farm, the hidden music retreat. The property, located on 8.67 acres within, perfectly mirrors Stewart's spirit. Private, yet expressive. Steeped in history, yet vibrantly alive with creativity. From the moment you turn down the winding driveway and see the mountains rising in the distance, you understand that this isn't just a home. It's a living, humming piece of American music culture. Built with custom craftsmanship and an artist's eye for detail, Stewart's Tennessee Retreat balances rustic charm with high-end comfort. The house opens into a living room flooded with sunlight, framed by massive wood beams that stretch toward vaulted ceilings. Large windows invite the Appalachian landscape inside, where the rhythms of nature mingle with the lingering scent of oak and pine. The stone fireplace anchors the space, a fitting centerpiece for a man whose life has always revolved around the warmth of storytelling and song. On quiet evenings, you can almost imagine the faint hum of a mandolin carried on the wind, blending with the crackle of the fire. The kitchen feels like the heart of the home. With quartz countertops, a farmhouse sink, and a large island perfect for gatherings, it's where meals turn into jam sessions. The space reflects that philosophy. Elegant, but not pretentious, traditional, but designed for life's spontaneous harmonies. Upstairs, the master suite offers a refuge of peace. With its coffered ceilings, soft wood finishes, and access to a private balcony, it's a place of restoration. Mornings here begin with mountain mist rising through the trees, and evenings end with the amber glow of the setting sun washing over the hills. Stewart's life has often been a whirlwind of touring, recording, and preserving music history. But within these walls, he finds the stillness that fuels creativity. The outdoor spaces speak to his deep connection to country life. A covered wooden deck overlooks fields that catch the golden hour light just right, perfect for writing songs or watching storms roll across the valley. A stone fireplace provides warmth on cool autumn nights, while the fenced backyard and small chicken coop reflect a love for the simplicity of rural living. Stewart has always celebrated the real America in his songs, the land, the people, the faith, and his home embodies that same authenticity. Beneath the main level lies a thoughtfully designed lower floor, ready for transformation. The two-bay garage, with room for a boat or RV, hints at his love of exploration and life on the road. Every inch of this home is designed with intention, each room a note in a song of craftsmanship, comfort, and country pride. Yet what makes this Tennessee retreat so special isn't its architecture or its location, it's the energy that flows through it. For Stewart, this house isn't just where he lives, it's where he listens. Between tours, he retreats here to write, reflect, and reconnect with the roots of his sound. Friends describe it as a hidden retreat, a place where Nashville's noise fades away and the true music, raw, human, timeless, rises to the surface. But Marty's Tennessee Retreat holds more than peace and melodies. It's also home to one of the greatest private collections of country music history ever assembled. From vintage guitars to rhinestone suits, what lies inside his studio is nothing short of legendary. Guitar and Memorabilia Collection. Over 22,000 pieces of history live here. Guitars that changed the sound of a nation, handwritten lyrics that captured its heart, and stage-worn jackets that once shimmered under Opry lights. At the center of it all are the instruments. There's Hank Williams's Martin D45, its wood-worn smooth from songs that defined a generation. Johnny Cash's D45 sits nearby, a symbol of rebellion and redemption that still seems to hum when the room goes quiet. Clarence White's legendary Telecaster, the one that helped birth country rock, hangs proudly on the wall. And George Jones's D28, that deep, soulful tone machine, rests in a glass case, as if it's still waiting for another heartbreak ballad. Part of this extraordinary collection has already been donated to the Country Music Hall of Fame, ensuring that future generations can trace the lineage of honky-tonk and heartbreak straight back to its roots. But Marty didn't stop there. In his hometown of Philadelphia, Mississippi, he's building something even more personal: the Congress of Country Music, a $30 million cultural center and museum designed to showcase his full archive. It's not just a monument to the past, it's a living classroom for the next generation of pickers, poets, and dreamers. And while his guitars may hang silent now, their legacy plays on, a soundtrack to both his career and his wealth. Because behind this love for preservation lies a story of hard-earned success, smart investments, and a fortune built on music, memory, and faith in the long road. Income and net worth. As of today, Stewart's estimated net worth stands around $10 million, a fortune built not on flash or scandal, but on consistency, craftsmanship, and an instinct for preserving the heart of Americana. The foundation of his wealth comes from album sales and royalties, with over a dozen studio albums under his belt, including Hillbilly Rock, Tempted, This One's Gonna Hurt You, and The Pilgrim. These works continue to generate revenue through physical reissues, digital downloads, and streaming platforms. As a 5-time Grammy Award winner and 16-time nominee, Stewart's songs enjoy ongoing performance and mechanical royalties. It's estimated that royalties and licensing deals make up 30 to 40% of his total wealth, a steady source of income that ensures his music continues to pay dividends long after the last encore. But it's on the road where Marty Stuart truly shines and earns big. Touring and live performances have been a consistent financial engine since the 1980s. From his early years traveling with Lester Flatt and Johnny Cash to headlining his own shows with the fabulous Superlatives, Stewart has spent a lifetime on the stage. His live shows are known for their storytelling, authenticity, and musicianship, drawing loyal fans across the U.S. and Europe. Ticket sales, merchandise, and festival appearances likely account for 25 to 35% of his total income. Another pillar of his income is television. Hosting The Marty Stuart Show from 2008 to 2017 on RFD-TV brought him not only steady paychecks, but also renewed public recognition. Combined with earlier television work on the Nashville Network and regular guest appearances on Hee Haw and Grand Ole Opry, his TV ventures contribute roughly 15 to 20% of his earnings. Behind the spotlight, songwriting and producing have quietly added another stream to his fortune. Stewart has penned and co-written songs with country icons such as Vince Gill, Travis Tritt, and Ricky Skaggs. His compositions, often licensed for compilations, films, or tribute albums, bring in steady royalty checks. His behind-the-scenes work as a producer also earns back-end fees, adding another 10 to 15% to his wealth portfolio. He hasn't sought quick fame or flashy endorsements. Instead, he's built a career where passion and profit coexist, where every note, every show, and every collaboration contributes to a greater purpose. Because for Marty Stuart, wealth isn't just about what you earn, it's about what you give back. Philanthropy. At the heart of his efforts lies MusiCares, the organization dedicated to supporting musicians in need. Each year during CMA Fest, Stewart hosts his famed late-night jam concert, a tradition that's become a highlight of the week in Nashville. The event gathers legends and newcomers alike for one unforgettable night of live performances, with all proceeds going directly to MusiCare's health and welfare programs. Over the years, the late-night jam has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars, helping struggling musicians pay medical bills, access addiction recovery services, and find stability during hard times. Stewart's compassion extends beyond people to animals. In 2017, he took part in the Love of Dogs benefit concert in Nashville, organized by the Pedigree Foundation. His participation helped raise funds and awareness for shelter dogs awaiting adoption, another example of his belief that kindness, like music, can heal and connect hearts across all walks of life. Stewart continues to fundraise for the project through creative collaborations. One of the most notable is his partnership with the Soundwaves Art Foundation, which transforms sound recordings into visual artworks. In 2025, he released a limited edition series inspired by his song Space Junk, with every dollar of profit directed to the Congress of Country Music. Likewise, he's worked with modern country stars like Chris Stapleton, who has headlined exclusive benefit shows at Stewart's restored Ellis Theater, with proceeds supporting community-building projects around Philadelphia, Mississippi. Marty Stewart's philanthropy reflects the same authenticity that defines his music, rooted in gratitude, community, and tradition. Whether he's saving a piece of history, helping a fellow artist, or protecting animals, every act of giving feels like another verse in the great American song he's been writing his whole life. Because for Marty, giving back isn't the end of his story, it's part of his legacy. For Marty Stewart, love has always been more than a personal chapter. It's been a melody that runs parallel to his music. Personal life. And at the center of that song stands Connie Smith, the woman who became both his muse and his lifelong companion. Their story reads like a country ballad written by fate. In 1970, an 11-year-old Marty attended a fair in his hometown of Philadelphia, Mississippi, where Connie Smith was performing. Enchanted by her voice and grace, the young boy turned to his mother and said, "Mama, I'm going to marry her one day." It sounded like the kind of impossible dream a child might whisper under the stars, but Marty meant every word. Decades later, that dream came true. In the mid-1990s, long after Stewart had made a name for himself as one of country music's most respected musicians, their paths crossed again, this time in a Nashville recording studio. Marty was producing Connie's 1998 comeback album, and what began as professional admiration soon evolved into something far deeper. After 3 years of quiet courtship, the two married on July 8, 1997. Their union surprised some, given their 17-year age difference. Connie was already a legendary artist with a career stretching back to the 1960s, while Marty was in his creative prime. But to those who know them, their bond made perfect sense. Both were rooted in faith, tradition, and the authentic soul of country music. They shared not only a home and a stage, but a mission: to preserve the spirit of the genre that shaped their lives. Over the years, they've recorded, toured, and even written songs together, blending their voices into harmonies that speak of timeless devotion. Friends often describe them as two old souls who found each other in the right key. Stewart himself once said, "Connie is the embodiment of everything I love about country music: heart, truth, and grace." Before meeting Connie, Marty was married to Cindy Cash, daughter of the legendary Johnny Cash, from 1983 to 1988. Though the marriage ended amicably, it deeply shaped his personal and professional journey. Stewart has often spoken of the wisdom and humility he gained from the Cash family, qualities that would later serve him well in both marriage and music. Today, after more than 27 years together, Marty Stewart and Connie Smith stand as living proof that true love doesn't fade with fame. It deepens with time. Their relationship remains one of the most respected in the country music world, a rare harmony built on trust, laughter, shared purpose, and the quiet understanding that some promises, like the one an 11-year-old boy once made to his mother, are meant to come true. If you believe real music never fades, it just finds new places to live, then you're in the right spot with us. Subscribe, share, and keep riding along as we uncover the homes, stories, and souls behind America's greatest legends. Because every song, every story, deserves to be heard again.